Well, I already know this is going to be a hot take video, because if this last episode of Marathons is that unorganized, rushed, bad written, and so confusing as this episode, why is it by far the best episode ever? Hello my little dronies, welcome back to another Marathons video, and after this not little small hot take, I feel like I should explain myself before I have a SWAT team in front of my house. But important to say is that before I dig my own grave here, that I did enjoy the episode, but I also said WTF more than I did in my entire life before the episode. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
I see. You will not talk
What the
because I have heard.
And I have much more clips of that. I'm going to show it throughout the episode, but that first point that I want to point out already was kind of visible with the cracking leg. And this is probably the only hot take I can't defend because it's personal preference, but I don't like the new animation style. Like the quality and cinematic is the best it's ever been. I would say cinematic is episode 7 a bit more, but all of the physics of the characters is so weird and uncanny for me. Like they all look like water. The only character I can make an exception for is Sin, because she's supposed to be uncomfortable to look at, but the thing is with scenes like N and other stuff, doesn't look bad, but I don't know, I just don't like it. But now to the hot take at the beginning that I actually can defend. I think I'm not the only one that noticed that the final episode feels kinda rushed. Not only because it was 20 minutes long, that got leaked kinda earlier, and everyone was concerned that the 20 minutes won't be enough. I didn't have an issue at first because I kind of knew what the episode had to include, and I just thought because it's 20 minutes long they just cut out some parts. But no, they forced everything to be in one episode. You really couldn't focus on anything for longer than 2 seconds. Because I mean, what makes an objectively good scene is the atmosphere or just the way you perceive it. But in the finale, it was like everything happened so fast that you couldn't focus on anything. The best example was the scene with Sid and all the hands.
Leg.
It was supposed to be creepy, but really, because everything happened so fast, we couldn't build up tension for a second. And even though it was kinda unsettling, you kinda was expecting more. And the point I mentioned with bad writing is that pretty much everyone expected at least some of the main characters to die, or at least the main villain. That everyone survived, I get to in a second. So pretty much the expectation that someone is going to die was set, but literally every 5 seconds we expected a character to die, but those scenes where the characters was teased to die were just so quickly. Like Uzi got her heart ripped out, but immediately put back in. Same with N. And also at one point Uzi stabs N, but also like the first few times you actually were scared for the character because you expect the character to die. But after the 6th time of a fake death, I really didn't care, because the only moment where I actually felt something was the first scene where we cut off his leg, because I knew she was obviously going to fight back and not team up with Jay, and where N got actually stabbed, because this was in the middle of a fight scene. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this part actually didn't feel as rushed, but like throughout the entire episode there's so much happening on screen, so I was more confused than I was actually scared for the character. But I'm currently only 4 minutes into the video, and I would like to keep up my facade that I didn't like the episode. But to be honest, I can't even stretch the stuff past the 5-minute mark for the rage bait, because the episode was so good that I can't even find more points to complain. But now that if I'm complaining that Murder Drone's final episode was so bad, why do I still think it's the best episode? Well, that's simply said, because the episode really didn't give a single fuck about taking itself seriously. Well, what do I mean with that? Marathons is kinda multiple series at once, if you look at it. Like you have the serious and episodic nature of most episodes that have one coherent plotline and characters development over the time, and overall you can take all of it together as very emotional, sad, and overall it likes to pluck your heartstrings alongside the usual action. Then we have the 2 outstanding episodes, which would be episode 2 and 5, where we drive away from everything and just have a bit of horror, which are some of the best episodes episodes, so I can't complain. But this episode and the first episode ever are structured way differently because they do not try to make an interesting plot. They do not try to pluck your heartstrings out. They do not want you to cry over a fictional character. They want to be fun and entertaining, and that is what most people want. They want to escape from the reality and just enjoy something that doesn't remind them of their own miserable life. And the thing that really only matters is that you had fun watching the episode. And even though I personally enjoy the character growth and everything around it way more, I can see that Murder's original vision is just a chaotic and fun mess you could constantly smile through. And to be honest, going into the episode, I was seriously looking into everything, but now while editing, I of course see the footage in the background and I'm realizing, hey, I don't need to analyze anything or desperately try to find plot holes so I can complete the deep and hidden lore in Murderons. No, I'm supposed to enjoy it. And I think Liam Vickers wrote that in the pilot episode in that way, but kinda was driven away over the course of the episodes. I mean, Murderons was originally supposed to be a monster of the week, less episodic kind of way. And I think that is the true energy of Murderons, that just to have fun and enjoy the show and don't have to think about complex plot or deep character development. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about wholesome rants, I want to complain about characters. And I'm going to do that, but I quickly just wanted to mention that this whole rant originally was 6 minutes long, and I cut most of it out because I couldn't focus on a single sentence. But there's one video that explained what I wanted to talk about quite good. So I'm going to link the creator together with the video in the first link in the description. Anyways, let me talk about my favorite character now. If I have to suffer through this scene, you have to do too. But anyways, I wouldn't say that Sin was peak in that episode, because personally I'm still a fan of episode 5 Sin, but still Sin was so good in this episode because, as I mentioned a couple of minutes earlier, she wasn't that menacing villain or tried to be overly creepy. She just was horror. She behaved like an eldritch puppy monster, half cute, half nightmare fuel. At least that's how I have seen her described anywhere. And finally, in my favorite scene, second favorite, third favorite scene,
Hi, Anne.
where Anne is getting ripped open, and a little bit after that, you can actually see that characters are afraid of Sin due to their trauma in the past, because anywhere else in the show it just was said that the characters are afraid of Sin, but never actually shown. But now with the actual imagery what the characters went through, Sin feels so much more threatening. By the way, I more often than not mentioned that I had many nightmares about Sin, and one of the nightmares actually was exactly that scene of Anne getting operated alive, which wasn't fun to experience, but I find it funny that my dreams kind of predicted it. And speaking about my dreams predicting stuff, usually I get very excited if I just get a single thing, doesn't matter how obvious or whatever it is, right? But some of the people that follow me for a long time now know I'm making my own Murderons fan show, and one of the main ideas was that Uzi and Sin fuse together into the same being, not Uzi taking control over Sin or Sin taking control over Uzi, but them fusing together to the same being. And I made a few community posts over the days where we slowly designed together the appearance of Uzi. But one thing I really wanted to do to show that both beings are in the same amount of control is that I made one eye yellow and one eye purple to show that both of them are in the same body and have the same mind. And if we look at the final episode, we can see that almost the exact same, or better to say the same thing I wanted to do happened in the canon universe. I mean, at least not two different eye colors, but a shaded mix. But we can even see that Sin is also able to talk with Uzi, and that Uzi has also Sin's abilities. And we can also see that the mirror glitch showing Uzi's solver form. So like, I really like that idea, but I feel now uncomfortable using it now that it's canon. But maybe it's a canon event, so I don't know. But like, there's still so many things open for interpretation that are just not solved by the last episode, and people are already speculating. Like, I could already point out every single thing, but this video is already way too late, and I'm probably the last person to make a video about episode 8. But a good friend, Cake the Third, made a short about it, and I'm allowed to use it, so I just let him count all the things quickly.
Wake up, nerds! Wake up! It ain't over till I say it's over. All right? Nothing got solved. Nothing. Nori in the church? Unsolved. There's Uzi's the new host. The solver is still running around. The little black hole from episode 2 is now a giant centipede in the cryo sleep chamber. The murder drones are still eating people. They're still eating the students. Nusi can't even kiss, dude. They can barely even hug. Envy has a chance. Envy still has a chance. There's a lot that can happen in high school. Jay is still alive and she's building the ship. There's a weird exorcism monster thing running around the school. There's a doll ghost creature thing or new solver host user thingamajig running around. New school year, new me.
And why seriously the shipping stuff is not what I'm going or want to talk about. As I said earlier in the video, just to correct me, I said not earlier in a video but in a different video I said that it would look weird with the 3D model and how they kiss, and some people think some of the frames they kiss, but like it's extremely stretching, and that's again with the whole shipping drama that the Murderons community has, and I really don't want to get into it. Anyways, back to past Reptor. But you can hear in Cake's voice, there are a lot of things that still could be talked about and I still could make theorizing about, but this video isn't really to theorize about what is going on or what still could happen. The last thing I could actually mention that in the description, Glitch says there's still more to come. Like Liam Vickers and Glitch also said, Glitch is not going to force the show writers to make second season if they don't want to. It is the same thing if Digital Circus doesn't want to do a second season. Glitch isn't going to force Gooseworks to make one, even though it would be probably very successful. But to think if one day Liam Vickers becomes bored, he theoretically could make a second season. Or I think what is going to happen, maybe something similar to Meta Runners, that we are going to get a comic series. I'm making my own comic series, by the way. But that is the way we could get more Murderons, because also if you look at the Glitch store, there is a Murderon sticker pack 1. Like, I don't want to take this as evidence, but I'm a YouTuber and I need to convince my audience that everything I think is real, so that is evidence you could take from me. But overall, even though I was more confused than anything, now in the aftermath, I think it was one of the best episodes ever, because it didn't took itself seriously. Of course, I would have loved a serious dramatic end with everything going wrong and still being satisfying or something. But to be honest, if we look Murderons as a whole and the things that are going to be remembered, I think this is one of the best endings we could have gotten, and to be honest, I'm satisfied with the conclusion. But this concludes this video about my thoughts on Murderon's finale. I'm probably going to title this video something like Hot Takes, or the finale was bad, but just was a clickbait. I swear I won't do it again, but I just wanted to do as a joke that I mentioned in one of my first videos, where I was like, did I want to say that I hated the finale just as a joke, just to troll like those people who are always hating on everything, just can't accept the way that things are. And to be honest, this video should come out very late, and the longer I have been editing and working on this video, the more I have liked the episode. Anyways, did I forgot to mention something that upset me in the episode? There's a reason why Anne is my favorite character. Wait, what, doll? Nah, it's probably nothing. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. The next video might be Murderons, might be something else. I maybe do a community post asking which indie show I'm supposed to cover next. But until then, remember, I can't believe they backstab us like this. Like, they show, hey, everything is happy ending, but then they show, no, Doll is still dead. Go and flip yourself. What the f***?